Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the kick-ass key holder herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi, everybody. Wait till you hear this.
It is episode 233, January 9th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, today, Venus trine Mars retrograde.
This is the last aspect before he goes direct.
Thursday, January 12th, Mars stations direct.
Ignite pilot flames.
Friday, January 13th, Sun sextile Neptune.
Trust the magic.
And Saturday, January 14th, Venus square Uranus retrograde.
Cold shoulder action.
Then Sandy has finished up a talisman to be an educator. Also, we have a new talisman of the month, and on the horizon, we have our year ahead forecast and our 2023 retreats. Then in our house, Sandy and I are going to chat about my key mistake that I made, and yet Sandy came to the rescue. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you does.
Hello, kick-ass key holder.
It's just what moms do.
So I will have that story for you all in our house at the end of the episode. So let's go direct to all you listeners. We have a message here from Tammy. She says, Sandy, thanks for being you. I appreciate our connection and time together as always and in all ways. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Tammy. Happy New Year to you. Thank you for being you. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things I love about astrology. It's when everybody can be themselves.
Yeah. Show up.
There is no judgment to who I am, especially with an astrologer.
Mm-hmm. So let's move into the transits. This week is much shorter than last week.
But impactful.
Okay.
Impactful.
So today, Monday, January 9th, Venus trine Mars retrograde.
So we begin this. This is at 9:22 in the morning. And this is really the last aspect that is involved with this Mars retrograde, because Mars here is in station at 8 degrees of Gemini. And it's this last pass of Venus as in a trine. So Venus is making this beautiful and graceful dusting upon Mars's journey as he's getting ready to take action again. So it's like the final tweak, and it's a nice tweak because it's Venus in trine. So she is giving blessings to Mars's movement forward. So, really cool that we'll be on retreat here.
And maybe even like a rite of passage.
Where it's like, women, and I guess I could say this now because, it's kind of like, I liked this whole fact that the little gift, can we talk about the little gift for the retreaters, because they'll already be in it. They'll already know by this time, because we are recording it a little bit before
you leave.
I leave. But it was very key. So we got red lipstick, right? Because Mars is red, and Venus is making this final like kiss to this Mars and setting Mars on his way to do good, to do fair things, to do beautifying things, to do art things. So this hot red lipstick that everyone I'm getting, it's a little gift as they get into their rooms. We'll see how many wear them. I'll give you the report of how many people wear this red lipstick and are kind of giving, and it's kind of this,
it's making an impression, making an impact.
Right, exactly. Like giving a kiss, blowing a kiss, or, kissing your hand, where you get the beautiful red lipstick, as a kiss on your hand, or just kind of that final approval.
And really,
of what Mars is going to take action to do.
And a red lip is so bold that I do like it for that, the last kiss from Venus to Mars. So that is Monday the 9th. Let's move on to Thursday, January 12th, where Mars stations direct.
He's finally moving. Well, he's actually not moving yet. He's stationing to
Pausing
move.
to go forward.
Yeah, just kind of like that cul-de-sac that we used to live in, Alex. You come down and around the cul-de-sac and you're still not making any advancements, but you're still moving forward. You're about ready to come out of that UE, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's ignite pilot flames. This happens at 2:56 p.m. Central Time. And start the drive ahead. What? Do you have your hands on the wheel? What do they say? 10 and 2, right? The 10 o'clock and the 2 o'clock, get your hands on the wheel. You're really about to take off. And it's this, whatever this long awaited plan has been stalled or in reverse or has been delayed or terminated, really. What new plan is taking its place, or what now gets, reignited? Because it's ready for a green light. It's ready for a green light.
It's ready to fuel the engines and get the blast off, the 3, 2, 1 countdown.
Because when you say ignite pilot flames, if we're sending a shuttle mission to outer space, a mission, there's so many toggles and twists and turns and people in the control booth that are going. It's not even a booth; it's a room. I saw it. I was at that. And being in a control room where you have to hit certain buttons and there's many manual toggles that you're just igniting the flames. You're not moving yet. It's, we could say it in a smaller personal home based area that we all have is the hot water heater.
Or an oven. Yeah.
You got to turn something on first. Yeah. Or an oven. You got to preheat it. You got to get something ready. You don't get hot water just by, not having a pilot flame ignited. So, and I learned all about the furnace with the trumpets and the whole thing when I had to fix my furnace. But it's really ready to prepare, ignite in fact, we're doing a special candle reigniting ceremony.
During the retreat.
Maybe the girls will know about it if they listen to this on Monday. We're doing it on Thursday.
Spoiler alert.
But I want to talk about the birthday. Anyone having a birthday on May 30th, which you might know someone that does.
I do. Well, close to it. It's not there. It's the 31st. But
that still counts, right? Because they're a 9 degree. Then anyone that's born on May 30th has an 8 degree Gemini sun. That's where the sun is when we're born. And this is right where Mars is sitting. So these people, these babies, birth babies of maybe May 29th, May 30th, May 31st are getting kind of this like start your engines, right? It's kind of like the Indy 500. And
cool.
They're getting
That's
ready.
Exciting.
Yeah. So those particular people, and so we'll watch what's going on with your friend.
All right. So Friday, January 13th, Sun sextile Neptune.
Yeah, this is trust the magic. Anytime you got Neptune involved, it's like, is it magic or is it illusion or is it fraud? What's your sleight of hand, right? Because, when you're looking at magic, we can all be in awe of the disappearing coin or the reappearing coin behind the ear. But at the same time, you're getting duped, right? There's some sort of who's the joke
something
on,
going
right?
on under the
and so
waters.
It's really about, and when the sun comes up and makes it's a sextile, so it's a lighthearted aspect, but it's nice. So you're going to really watch the magic and creative projects. Your storytelling particularly is at its best. Give to or give back to others. This is, kind of, as I've said before, when you're returning something to somebody, fill it with a smile of a piece of chocolate or a nice little note. If you're returning someone's, even if it's an ugly piece of Tupperware.
Right. Well, yeah. All right. So Saturday, January 14th, we have Venus square Uranus retrograde.
Cold shoulder. This is a square. And Venus is it's Venus. So her relationship ability, her connection ability. She needs to stand up. She needs to stand out. She needs to walk out. This could be something of a disruption. Now, I know we're finishing a retreat on this day, but it really is. It doesn't happen until 7:22 p.m. So we'll all be just arriving home. And it will be this maybe like, I'm too tired, or
like I don't want to socialize.
I'll tell you about my journey on my retreat tomorrow. But right now, I just need to decompress, kind of feeling. So that will be for the girls that are returning from the retreat. But, just watching for everyone else, the square action of a surprise situation coming up that you may not understand.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty short week, but yes, it is going to be
impactful. Yeah.
So let's move into talisman times, where you have finished up one on Wednesday, January 4th, to be an educator.
To be an educator. I love this one. I inform and teach others many types of constructive information in order for each one to perform victoriously. And this is a rare piece. If anyone is looking for a strong Saturn talisman, this is it.
Saturn's all that disciplinarian leadership.
Control, taking your time to do something, making sure someone has got the information. You'll be repeating and repeating until it's, locked in, basically. But we've got what's coming up over the horizon is Saturn. And Saturn is direct. And Saturn is in own rulership of Aquarius. And Saturn and the Ascendant is making a beautiful conjunction to a fixed star, Deneb Algedi, which you and I have as heliacal risings because we are both born in March. And that is the heliacal rising star for us being born in March. And anyone probably does have Deneb Algedi if you were born around 40 degrees north latitude. But Deneb Algedi is a very powerful kind of lawgiver. It's about providing positive and positive help. And so by being the educator, by being the teacher, by being the instructor of something, you're reaching and helping to teach humans what's an important role that they can use in their everyday life.
Yeah, and in community.
Yeah. And even if you think about this talisman, even if you're a mom, although it's a large bead, I made the large bead with the crystals, anyone wanting to, be an educator doesn't have to be your teacher in a school system. No, it's like you could be a coach. You could be a parent. You could be
a counselor.
This is your giving tools, your constructive information
that can help others
reach a victorious outcome. Like so really, who doesn't need this? Maybe I need this, right? But everybody needs this.
Right.
So this is one that's up on the website. It's available right now.
Awesome. And then to continue with the Saturn theme, we also have the talisman of the month is to believe in the value of persistence and hard work. This talisman is on special. It's a special price only for this month. If you click that link in the show notes, you'll go straight over there. So let's move on the horizon, where we just finished up last week the 2023 year ahead forecast. This is a 2-hour special event, and this is the last time you're going to be able to get this publicly. Otherwise, you have to come on to our new platform, which is called Patreon. If you're not familiar with it, it's a really wonderful community-oriented, subscription-based platform where you get all of this information. You can start off with a $5 tier. You can work all the way up to a tier where you get a monthly 1-hour reading with Sandy and Susan every single month.
We already have one.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. And I want to, again, pause here. This is for Chatting with the Stars.
Right.
Intention Beads and Sandy Reevy and Alex Reevy are not moving to Patreon. Our collaborative business is moving, which is chatting with the stars.
Where you get the monthly forecasts, the cheat sheets, the webinars, the CWS webinars, all of the talisman making webinars will continue to stay on intentionbeads.com. And any of the readings with Sandy and Susan combined, so two astrologers looking at your chart at once, that is where you're going to find all that information is on patreon.com. So I do want to quick mention, too, that we have our 2023 Bali retreat coming up. That is April 1st to the 11th. If you've never been to Bali, I'm sure you've heard of it many times. And just to give you a brief run through, we love to dive headfirst into this culture because it is so rich, so wide, so beautiful.
And welcoming.
The Balinese people always have smiles. They may not have all of their teeth, but they have the most beautiful smile in the entire world. Their hearts are big and open, and every single time that we go to Bali, we are never disappointed. And there is something very sacred about the lands of being among the jungle and in the mountains. And we go to this place called Ubud, and it is the spiritual mecca of Bali. And Bali is a very interesting island in Indonesia because it is not Muslim. It is a specific type of Hindu-based religion that they practice, and it's completely unique to Bali. And just it's indescribable just how much intention goes into every waking moment of every day, where they place offerings and incense and flowers. They put flowers behind their ears every single time they meditate or pray. And
yet it's peaceful. But they live with intention in a peaceful setting. They're not rushed. They're not worried, that they know the land and their God will provide everything they need. And if they don't have it, they don't need it.
So we love diving into this culture, into the traditions, into the food, into those sacred cleansing practices of going to the water temples. It's so brilliant to witness and be a part of. So of course we invite you along the journey with us.
In fact, I got a call today from one of the attendees for her first time going to Bali, and her first time obviously is with us, that she was just confirming on some, dates and arrivals. And there's one airport. Yes, there's one airport. And we just had a little bit of a chat. And I said, what you're doing right now is you're looking for your flights and realizing that it takes 2 days to get there because it's not a nonstop. You do have to lay over. And
you lose time in the time difference.
And it, because of the length that your online airline will let you know how long it'll take. It does kind of gasp you to think, oh my God, what am I doing?
I'm going on the exact opposite side of the earth, of the planet.
And all of a sudden, it's where the journey begins.
Right.
It's not so much when you put down your deposit or you pay for it. It's about setting up your journey and looking at that. And she literally said, Sandy, thank you so much for allowing me to feel that, because it's exactly how I'm feeling. And I said, you're starting the journey of knowing that you can live on the other side of the world, and you're about to find out, and you're going to just arrive at the airport at a certain time that you have arranged, get on a thing on a big tube, skinny silver tube, and then start heading. But that's when you leave it up to the sky gods.
Yeah.
And you arrive and we're on the other side.
Well, and I think just going to Bali overall is just such a growth spurt, because you're on the other side of the world. You're not in a location that's I don't know.
Recognizable.
Right. It's not it's not close to home in many different aspects. But that's the reason why you should go 100%, because it's unlike anything you've seen before. And when you go and you experience it, you are on a whole nother level. And so anyway, we won't have to discuss too much over that, but I also want to remind everyone that we have our Greece retreat coming up as well, September 7th through the 14th. And click on those links in the show notes and you'll get a little bit more information. And if you are interested in joining us for any retreat and you still have a few questions or concerns, you do get a free 15-minute reading to ask Sandy anything about the retreat and to see if it's a right fit for you.
Come on.
So in the show notes, check out that link. Or if not, you just head over to intentionbeads.as.me/retreat. You'll go straight there. All right. So let's move into our house where we get to talk about my key mistake.
We've all done it. And we've all done it and done it twice, maybe done it 3 times, and we are not done doing it.
Well, hopefully we are.
Well, that's what we think. How many things have you done that said, I will never do this again? And then years later you find out like, damn, I'm here.
I did it again. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I just don't want this to be a normal thing.
Well, now you're going to put
what happened?
Some plans into order.
So what happened is I was leaving home. I had my computer bag, everything packed, my coffee. I even had an extra tea, and I was ready to go. And I was in a little bit of a hurry. My mind wasn't 100% present. And so I had put the keys on a shelf, being like, okay, I'm going to grab the keys before I leave. So I put on my jacket and I skip that and I go straight out the door. And usually how I lock the door as quickly as possible is lock the bottom lock as I'm closing the door. And then I get my key out to lock the top lock. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I was pushing the door closed, I reached in my pocket and there was no keys in either side. And I panicked because the door had just closed. And it was probably the worst time to do something like this because in the whole building, there are only 2 people with access to the boiler room, which has everyone's keys. It's the president of the board and the secretary of the board. And one of them is my boyfriend and one of them is my neighbor, and they were both out of town. Mm-hmm. And I had just locked the keys inside. So I was going through so many different possibilities. I need to call a locksmith. I need to somehow, because I couldn't even get access to my car, let alone the parking garage. And I realized that I had an extra key in the car. Mm-hmm. So I give you a call, a few calls.
You gave me 8 calls, you say, and my phone never rang.
Which is an anomaly itself. But all of a sudden, you find the extra key to the car. You jump in an Uber. You're heading over. I call another neighbor who has access to the parking garage. So he lets me into the parking garage. You show up shortly thereafter. And boom, bang, done. It was only an hour mistake, which really could have been maybe like 4 hours.
No, it was not our mistake. It was your mistake.
No, a 60-minute mistake. That's the name of this episode now. And so it was, you are the kick-ass key holder. So thank you again for coming to my rescue. Shout out to Aaron for letting me into the parking garage. And also,
I wish we could be with you, Aaron, right now.
to be in one of those situations, but have somebody who is able to make you laugh and bring light to the situation as opposed to making because I was doing a great job at making myself feel like a total dumbass, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. How did it, and trying to figure out solutions on how to not ever do that in the future. And just to have someone around to knock you out of it and just laugh at the absurdity of everything that's going on is priceless. Mm-hmm. So shout out to all of my heroes today. And thank you again for aiding me in my key mistake. So
no worries. But if it would have been tomorrow, you're out of luck.
Right, because we need to take you to the airport.
Oh,
and
I would have been out of luck. Yeah.
Right. You would have had an Uber, another one. So I think that's all. Anyone that gets locked out of your apartment or home, I feel for you. And just know that there are always solutions and people willing to help. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode. We love you. We want to hear your feedback. Remember, email me, alex@intentionbeads.com, and share our podcast with family and friends.
Ignite those pilot lights.
All right, everybody.
Vroom.
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story of you.